Chapter 5 The Lost Hotel. And this is leaving, going on vacation from the town.
The Lost Hotel Chapter 5 Leaving the Lost Town. Copyright John R. Rowland 3, December 10th, 2014. Jack, me. Jane, wife. Joe, guy at front desk. Betty, owner. Manny, owner's husband. Hank, teaching science in the local college. Sally, female bear. Moose, male bear. Sid Banderade, owner of the Lost Town. Mac, maintenance man. Ann Harrington. She lives in the old house out back of the old INN in the Lost Town. S&S Construction Company. His name is Kevin Cacklin. He is the one that rents the left side of town. That is when you come into town, he is on the left. Pam, she is the one that works in the kitchen ordering food, and Betty is ordering food too. Ben, bus driver. Me and Jane have been in the Lost Town now for about 5 years now, and just about everything we can do has been done. So it is time to move on to other things. I have met some really good people, and we will hire some people to take over our jobs here in the town. I am going to hire a real judge and others to take over our jobs. I will still be the mayor, and all I have to do is come back once a month to do what needs to be done in the office, or I can do it by fax. We have a lot of stuff here now. We even set up our own satellite company with internet service and telephone too. We even have cell phone service up here now. Here is a small newspaper we deliver to the Lost Hotel in the next town. We have put an ad in the paper, and we are waiting to hear from someone that would want the job here. After a month we have got everything taken care of, and we are on our way. We left here and went to the Lost Hotel and stayed there for almost 2 weeks so we could see everyone. The owner was so happy to see us. We did not get down here much as we were so busy there all the time. This is like a vacation. Betty said we can stay as long as we would like. She has always keep our room just for us. Then she said, "Okay, where are you guys going now?" I said, "I don't really know. We have done just about everything now. We run a town and built it up from nothing." Betty said, "You did a really good job setting this up too. There was one time we rented almost 600 rooms here." I said, "Wow, I did not know you rented that many rooms here." Betty said, "Just before the casino opened up, people just keep coming and coming in to rent rooms. For a while there we had to go to town every night to get more food. We'd keep running out of stuff. There was once we sent out a truck in the morning to go and get stuff. Then again at afternoon. The freezer and fridge is only so big, so we could only get so much at a time." I said, "I guess it is time to make the bigger so you can put more food in." She said, "Now that is a good idea. I will go and see what can be done to make the fridge and freezer bigger." Betty said that will really help when we get busy again. I went to where the freezers are and went in. The place was full of boxes. I looked around and all I see was seafood boxes and more seafood. I said, "Where is all the rest of the meat and veggies and other stuff?" He said, "It is on the other side in the cooler." I said, "Okay," and then I went there. Then all I seen was boxes of fresh veggies. "Where are all of the meat and other things?" I said, "Who is in charge of ordering?" He said, "Betty ordered most of the stuff we get. Then a girl named Pam orders the rest of the stuff we need." I said, "Then there are 2 people ordering, and it looks like they are ordering the same things over and over. That is why there is no room for the stuff that is really needed. I guess I have got to talk to them together." I left and went back to Betty's room and knocked on her door. She opened it and I said, "I think I have found out why you run out of stuff." Betty said, "Okay, then tell me what is going on." I said, "Who is in charge of the kitchen?" Betty said, "Pam is." I said, "Do you go in and place an order once a day and then they deliver it the next day?" Betty said, "I do that." I said, "Pam is doing that too." So you have ordered double the stuff that is needed, and this is why there is no room in the freezers and fridges, is because you two are ordering the same stuff twice. Betty just looked at me and said, "No way. Is what is going on? No wonder the food bill is so high when they send out a bill." I thought that the price went up and just had to pay the price. I said, "Call Pam and we can talk to her and get this straightened out." Betty called the front desk, and it was not long before Pam showed up, and we sat and talked for a while and got things taken care of. Pam will do all the ordering from now on, and she will take care of it. I said, "You will have to do an inventory and see if some of the stuff is out of date." She said, "All the stuff that comes in, they know where to put the new and move the old to the front so it will be used first. We have enough stuff for over 6 months now, so we can have some specials and get rid of a lot of it." I said, "That will work." Pam left and Betty said, "Thank you for helping out again." I said, "Just glad I could help out." I said, "It is dinner time, and call my room and have Jane meet us in the dinner." Betty called the front desk and said, "Call Jane and meet us in the dinner." She hung up and we headed to the dinner. We got there and it seemed to be almost full. I said, "I hope our table is not taken." We finally got to where our table is and it was empty. We sat down and it was not long before Jane sat down and said, "Have you ordered yet?" I said, "Nope, we just got here too." It was not long before a waiter come over and we ordered. We sat and talked some and ate. Betty kept asking us where we were going next. I said, "I really don't know. I think we will head kind of southeast of west from here. I have not seen any of the southern states, so would like to see some of the land and the old buildings." Betty said, "Can I go too? We can take our motor home and stop wherever we want to and see all the sights." I said to Jane, "What do you think?" She said, "We will talk about this later, okay?" Then I said, "Is Manny coming with us?" Betty said, "I don't know if he would go or not. I will get back to you in the morning." We finished eating and we all left and went back to our rooms. When we got there, Jane said, "I don't mind going in the motor home to travel, but I don't want to sleep in it every night. I want to sleep in a hotel room where there is hot water and a working flush." I kind of like that too. I would rather take a good van and just go from hotel to hotel and see all the sights. Even if we want to stay for a week, maybe we could get a better rate. Jane said, "We will talk to them in the morning." She went over and turned on the TV and sat down and watched it. I sat and it was not long before I went to bed. The next morning, we got up and went to the dinner for breakfast, and when we got there, Manny and Betty were there and said, "Come sit with us." I said okay, and we went over and sat down. Manny said, "I know Betty said that we could take the motor home and just go, but the motor home now is so old I don't know if it would even get out the parking lot. So let's take the new van we got and break it in." I said, "That will work." Manny said, "Okay, when do you want to leave?" I said, "In about a week. I have to go back up to the lost town to do some things. I have to come back at least once a month to take care of things." Manny said, "That will be fine. This way it will give me time to get the things done around here I wanted to get done." I said, "Yes, this will give everyone a chance to get things done." We did not say much the rest of the time we were there. We ate and thanked them and went back to our room. I said, "In the morning I am going to take the bus back up there and I will be back when I can, okay?" Jane said, "That is okay, I am fine right here." I said, "I know you like the pool and all the food here." Jane said, "I just could live here and never move." I said, "Though you liked it up to the lost town?" She said, "I like it there, but it don't have a big pool." I said, "We can put one in." Jane sat up and said, "You would put in one just for me?" I said, "Yes, I would, but it will take a while to even think of that." Jane just sat back in her chair and said, "Okay. I guess so." It was getting late and I went to bed. The next morning I got up and headed to the bus and got in. The guy said I need a pass to get on the bus or I would have to pay for one. I showed him my pass and it said the Forever Pass on it. He said, "I have never seen one of those." I said, "You probably will never see another one ever." I am the owner of the bus service and the mayor of the lost city. He said, you must be Jack. I said, I am, and you must be new here. He said, my name is Ben. This is my first day to drive this bus and I don't really know where I am going either. I said, okay, I will drive and then you will know where to go. He said that will work. We waited until everyone got on and we headed out. It was not long when we pulled into town and I said to everyone, we are here, and then I opened the door and everyone got out. Some headed to the hotel to play cards and others went to the dinner and then others went down to the river. I headed to the office to see what was going on. I got there and he said, boy, am I glad to see you. I guess you are the only one that can fix this. We have someone here that broke into the jail to get one of his buddies out, and when he took the key off the wall and opened the door to the cell and went in the cell, closed the door behind him and locked himself in, and now we cannot get the jail cell open. It seems to be jammed. I just laughed out loud and laughed some more. I said, okay, follow me and I will open it for you. Sid told me about that cell, and sometimes it would do that. Even the key was still in it because no one could get it open. I took the key out and put in one of the other keys and it opened it right up. They all just looked at me and said, wow, we were using the wrong key. I said, this lock was changed a long time ago and sometimes the old key will work and sometimes it will not, and the key is the same one that opens the other cell over there. There are 4 keys on here, so if someone took them and tried to open the cells and they think that each key fits each cell, they would be wrong. By the time they figure out what key goes where, we caught them again and put them back in the cell, so I guess you two will have to see the judge now. I went into the office and he come back and sat down. He said, I don't know what to do with them. The judge left 3 days ago and said he might not be back. I said, what did he do, quit? He said, I don't know, he got a phone call and then left. I said, get him on the cell phone and let me talk to him. He picked up the phone and called. He picked up the phone and I said, this Mayor Jack, what is going on? The new judge said, my mom just passed away. I guess I am going to be here now to take care of things here and to run her business here now. So I guess I will not be back. I said, okay, that is fine. Did you take all the stuff you wanted from here, or will you be coming back to get it? He said, whatever I left you can keep. I just can't go back there because I have too much to do here now. I said, okay. I hung up the phone and said, I guess we are going to have to find a new judge now. He quit. I picked up the phone and called Jane and told her all about it. I said, see if there's a judge there that wants a job. Called the newspaper in town and put an ad in. Okay. Jane said okay. I said okay, I am still a judge here. All I did was just hire one to take my place until I get back anyway. Okay, get them ready and have them in the courtroom in a half hour. He said okay and he went his way and I went mine. I headed to the courtroom to see how clean it is and to see what he had done behind the bench. I got there and things seemed to be in place. I sat down the big chair and the list of charges was written all over. The old fines were crossed out and new ones put in. They were almost doubled what we had written down. I still use the old fees. This is an old town and this should hold up to the old fees. I looked through the whole book and just about everyone had a new price on them. It was not long before the 2 men come in and sat down. The clerk come up and passed me the paperwork for both of them. I read the complaint and then said, Tom, come up here. He went up to the table and said, I am Tom. I said, the charges are breaking into a jail cell and trying to break someone out of jail. How do you plead? Tom said, I was only trying to give him his inhaler and his meds so he could breathe and he need his meds. I said, all you had to do was go to the office and hand them to the clerk. He would have made sure he got them. Tom said, I guess I did not think of that. I was only concerned that he had his meds and inhaler. I find you guilty of helping out a friend in need and that is worth something, but to break into a jail is a bad offense. You could spend a week in there and a fine of $20.00. But where you have already spent some time in jail, we will call it time served and a fine of 60.00 payable right now. The clerk gave him back his stuff and he paid the fine. Then I said, case closed, you may go. Now for your brother Bane. Bane, come up here. I see the charges on you are fighting on Main Street with someone from the hotel. Was it someone that worked there? Bane said yes it was. Why was you fighting with him? I went in the hotel and all I did was sit down at a table and I was looking around. One of the big guys come over and said, you here to eat? I said no. Then he said, are you here to play cards? I said no. Then are you here to rent a room? I said no, and then he grabbed me and threw me outside and he hit me, so I hit him back. Then he threw me to the ground and said, don't come back inside. I got up and grabbed him and took him down and hit him as much as I could. All he did was get up and threw me off and went inside. All I was waiting for was my girlfriend to get off work. She told me to sit at one of the tables and wait for her. So that is what I did. But I did not get a chance to explain that. I looked down the list to find something that would fit the crime. Finally I see one that would fit. Disorderly conduct on a main street. 10.00 fine payable right now. The clerk come over and gave him this stuff back and he paid the fine. I hit the gavel and said, case closed, you may go. They both left, and as they were walking out they said, wow, the fines here are not much at all. I guess you are right, this is lost in time. The only thing that is new is the hotel. That is like from the future here. The future meets the past here. I said to the clerk, I guess the fines are little to them, but we got our point across. We will not let anyone get away with anything here. So the fine is not what really counts, is what we will not tolerate here. I would have gone and got the bouncer, but he did not hit him back and just went inside. Bane was the only that caused the trouble. The bouncer was just doing his job, keeping all the bums out, and though he was one. We closed up the building and went back to the office. It was not long when the owner of the hotel bar come over and said, I heard you had two brothers here and fined them and let them out of jail. I said, we just did that. He said, well, they are over to my place demanding that one of them has his girlfriend working there and he wants to see her. He will not tell me who she is and he keeps saying, you know who she is. I said, okay, let's go. We all went over to the hotel and went inside. They both was there and demanding to see his girlfriend. I said, okay, who is your girlfriend? He said, you know. I said, I don't know, and if you don't tell me you will go back to jail. He said her name and everyone said, oh okay, she worked here about 2 months ago and we fired her because she was stealing stuff from here. The brothers just looked at each other and said, do you know where she went from here? I said, maybe we can. What was the last address she gave you? He went into the office and then come and out and told us the address she was living at. It was at the old house on the road. It sounds like Anne's house. I said, okay, then I said, okay, all of you come with me. They followed me and we walked out of town and come to the old inn. I said the address that they gave us was the house out front of the old inn. We walked to the house and knock on the door. And come to the door and said, hey Jack, it has been a long time, how I can help you? I said the girl's name and Anne said yes, she stayed here for a little while and when she lost her job at the hotel I took her back to the city about 2 months ago now. The brothers said thank you and they headed back to town. I said, you going back to catch the bus and go back to town? They both said we are. I said, I hope you find her. They said me too. We got back to the office and sat down. Then there was a knock on the door and it was the owner of the hotel. He come in and said, wow, you took care of that in a flash. No fighting and they just left town. Where did the girl go away? She lived at Anne's house and Anne took her to town 2 months ago. I said, why did not come to us when you caught her stealing from you? She was so good we almost did not catch her. If it was not for all this stuff he took and hid it around in different places, we would have never known it was her. The only way we caught her was when one of the brothers showed up and she took a box down to them and they left with it. She said it was just some stuff she had that she wanted them to take home. She did not have any place to keep it. Once they got outside, we stopped them and got the box away from them. There were towels, soap, shampoo, and some small stuff from the hotel. We just passed it back to them and said, okay, don't come back again and get anything from her. Well, they come back and sat waiting for her to come down with the box and pass it to them, but we had fired her way before they could come back and get stuff. So you see what went on kind of after all this stuff happened. I would have come to you, but it was just better to fire her to get rid of her brothers and her, than to throw all of them in jail. But you put them in jail anyway, and what they got was just. I said, well, if you need anything, let me know, okay? He said okay and got up and left. I looked at the clerk and said, well, I guess another case was solved. He said, I guess it was. Well, I guess I am going to get some to eat at the dinner, and then I am going home here, and I will talk to you in the morning. I got up and went and ate and then went home and got some rest. When I got up, I went down to the office and the clerk was there already. I said, we have to find a good place to put an indoor pool. Then we can charge for the use of it. He said the hotel has a big one out back. Anyone can use that, stays there anytime. I said I want one that the wife can use anytime she wants. Is there room out back of the store down there? He said the only place I can see if down by the old inn. I said I guess that would be a good place to build an inn and pool right there. I guess we can do that. I made some calls to the contractors I know and said, come up here and see how much you would charge me to build an inn and full-size swimming pool down by the old inn. I walked down to the inn's house and knocked on the door, and she answered the door. I said, we plan to level the inn of yours and build an inn where the old one was. How many rooms were there in the old one? She said there were only 15 rooms in the old one. I was just wondering, if the time comes, would you like to run the new inn when it was built? Anne said, oh yes, that would be great. I can do that now that I am retired from my other job. I said, okay, I have some companies coming up here to check it out. They will give me a price on what size to put in and the size of the rooms and how big a pool we can put in. So we will see what we can put in here. Anne said, okay, I will keep an eye out so when they come up I can help them out. I said that would be great. I said thank you and I left. I headed back to the office. I got there and went in. The clerk said, your wife called. When will you be back there? I said I will call her in a little while. I went to her apartment and sat down. I picked up the phone and called her. She said, okay, where are you and when are you going to be here? We leave on Monday. I said, I know. I just have to find another judge or lawyer, so we will have a judge here. She said there was a guy called here about the job and he said he would be here today sometime. Well, I have not seen him as of yet. Just then there was a knock on the door. I got up and opened the door and he said, are you Jack? I said, yes, I am. He said, good, can I come in? I said, come in and have a seat. I picked up the phone and said, okay, he is here, I have to go now. Jane said, okay, bye. I sat down and said, are you a judge or a lawyer? He said, I am a lawyer and I just passed the bar and just got out of college and looking for a job. Well, the job don't pay much here. We might have up to 10 cases a month. Do you like to go fishing and hunting? He said, I would like to do that. I said, well, you will have a place to live and you will kind of have 2 jobs here. You will not only be the judge but one of the deputies too. I am the sheriff here and also the mayor, and a judge. I will be here once a month and if you need help you can always call me. Me and the wife want to go on vacation now for almost a year and finally got everything done here and hired everyone to take our places here so we can go on vacation. The judge quit on me. His mom died and he had to move back to run her business there. So he will not be back. You will get his room. It is over the jail. I told him what it pays per week and he would have to live here, and on the weekends if he wanted to go to town the bus runs all the time here. He said that is alright, I have my own car and I would like to take the job. Okay, follow me, and we went down to the office and said, okay, we have to swear you in. We did all the paperwork and we put his papers in a frame in the office and in the courthouse. So that is taken care of. The clerk will help you get settled and I have to go and catch the bus. I went out the door and got on the bus and we left right away. I got back at the Lost Hotel and headed right to our room. I got there and Jane was not there. I called her on her cell and she said, "Where are you?" I said, "I am in our room in the Lost Hotel." She said, "I am in the dinner, come and get something to eat." I said, "That is a really good idea." I went right to the dinner and we sat and talked and talked. We ate slowly because we talked so much. Finally we got done talking and then I said I am tired and I went back to the room and sat and watched TV for a while. Jane comes in with a package and said, "This came for you about 2 days ago." I said, "Wow, I thought it got lost in the mail." I opened it and my new cell was in there. I finally got a new one after all those years. This one even takes pictures. I called them up and got it all activated and everything. Now I have to learn how to use it. The weekend went fast and before I know it we were on the road to see new things. Copyright Jan 5, 2015. Written by John Rulin III.
Until next time.